Hi, my name is Emmanuel Appel. Today I'd like to talk to you about a great book on Jewish history that I would like to recommend. It's called Becoming Soviet Jews by Elissa Bemporad, who teaches at Queens College, City University of New York. Uh, this is a great piece of research into Jewish history. Becoming Soviet Jews deals with the social experiment that was conducted on the Jewish population of Belarusia around Minsk right after the Bolsheviks took power in the Soviet Union. What happened was after World War I, the area was divided. The western part of the Russian Empire became the Polish Republic, and the eastern part of the area became Belarusia, Ukraine, other areas like that. And the political aftermath had a lot to do with the way that Jews related to modern politics. The Jewish population on the western part of the Russian Empire, under the new Polish Republic, found itself a minority within an ethno-state, basically a minority within a nation state, the Polish Republic. Their experience there was mixed. Some people didn't have a problem. Others were subjected to tremendous Polish nationalist hysteria and insults, because really the Poles did not really want to have a minority with voting rights within their republic. And they did everything, some of them did everything they could to make the Jews feel unwelcome and harassed. On the other side of the boundary, on the other side of the frontier, into the Soviet Union, we have a different type of situation. The Jews basically were living on either side of the border under miserable conditions. Very poor for the most part. And the difference, though, on the Soviet side was that the Bolshevik government needed allies. And they saw the poor Jews as their natural allies in the new regime. And what happened was that for the first time, the Jewish population in that part of Eastern Europe found themselves not insulted, but actually welcomed and treated like normal human beings by the Reds. The benefit of supporting the Bolsheviks meant that you had free entry into universal public education. You had your career open based on your talents and not on your ethnicity, not on your blood. And that became extremely attractive to many of the young Jews who were sick and tired of living under the continual hatred and insults and murder and pillage and rape that had happened to them under the previous government. Some of them became enthusiastic Bolsheviks, and they joined the various Bolshevik organizations, the teaching profession, the bureaucracy, even the secret police. And that was the situation then. This condition of being welcomed and having your language and culture, Yiddish, actually supported by the government and publications published in Yiddish, teachers' colleges, uh, uh, conducting classes not only in the language but in secular subjects in Yiddish was very much welcome by a great percentage of the Jewish masses. There was a downside. In exchange for the public benefits of guaranteed employment, or let's say easy employment, being taken into the bureaucracy, being allowed to go into the schools uh, without having to pay, or without having to uh, have to observe the fact that they were only taking a certain number of Jews. Actually, as many Jews as wanted to could go to school without any interference. In exchange for that, there was a tremendous amount of pressure on traditional Jewish institutions, such as religion, the teaching of religious subjects, uh, the normal Jewish way of butchering meat and treating meat. Jews are observant Jews are very strict as to how to butcher and what parts of the animal are allowed and which are not. The religious establishment, the Jewish religious establishment, suffered quite a bit because Yiddish, a Germanic language written with Hebrew characters, was pushed by the Bolsheviks, whereas Hebrew, the real Jewish language, the language of the Bible, that was discouraged and in many cases suppressed. To basically the object of the Bolsheviks was to destroy all religions, but in a specific way in Byelorussia around Minsk, the Jewish Bolsheviks bought the line that religion was their enemy and it had to be suppressed as much as possible. Jewish people were actually imprisoned by the Bolsheviks if they were engaged in religious practices. Circumcision became a point of contention. Circumcision is the way that Jews give themselves a permanent passport. It is a means of making sure that everyone who belongs, belongs. And that was discouraged, to say the least, among the Bolsheviks. The Jewish Bolsheviks looked down on the practice, thinking of it as backwards, and a lot of the people who practiced circumcision were driven underground or jailed. So this became a problem quite a bit. This period of tolerance of Jewish culture, of Yiddish culture, and so forth, lasted, I would say, about 15 years, between 1921 and 1936, when Stalin's purges and reign of terror began. In essence, the Jewish cultural leaders, what people use the term intelligentsia. It's a German term for the people who write books, the people who are journalists, the people who teach at schools, at universities. These people were basically taken out and shot by Stalin, not all at once, but gradually until about 1952, the Yiddish-speaking intelligentsia of the Jewish people within the Soviet Union was basically wiped out. A culture was basically wiped out. And what Stalin did not kill, the Germans did during the Holocaust. So that is why Hebrew inherited the mantle of the language of the Jewish people in Israel, and that is the situation today. But the lesson to be learned for Jews, especially, is that you cannot entrust your affairs to the goodwill of other people. You have to look out for yourself and your own culture. But once again, I think that the book